Aloha, this is Santa Surfing. Welcome to Beach Broadcast. Today is the last day of August, Sunday, August 31st, 2025. Thanks so much for joining us on Locals as well as joining us on X as a subscriber. Some of the key features that we have is we do have an ad-free video on both of the platforms. If you are looking to find out if this a particular account is me, just go to the Beach Broadcast page, go to the links page, and check this out. So some people are sharing with me that there's a lot of poser accounts on X for Santa Surfing, Beach Broadcast, what have you. Guys, this is all the only account. I have one account of every single social media. So I don't have multiple accounts on anything, just one. So please, 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 please look here to see if it validates it. And if it's a poser, report it. And I would just ignore it because posers are going to be coming out in full force, in my humble opinion. So let me go ahead and dive in. We're only midday on Sunday, so I don't know what President Trump is going to be posting or dropping, or it's kind of crazy, but I'm going to walk you through from the last time I had a podcast. So President Trump, he truthed a Q plus, all right? He is holding, here it is. I mean, the world will soon understand nothing can stop what is coming, and it's a Q plus. And I think it's great because what he did, I'll get to that in a moment because it's just incredible and really big. So he's holding a Q plus, and this is a way to let you know he is Q plus, right? Because many Anons know about this. So let me give you some swamp news updates. I got a lot to cover, guys, because I got 3 days worth of stuff. So I'm going to try to pack it in. And I'm doing one on Sunday because I have this funny feeling this upcoming week is going to be very explosive with a bunch of other stuff going on. Mega Church Kingdom of God is raided and the 2 owners are arrested. So just kind of cautioning, just giving you a little word of caution. We may see more and more of this, but the 2 owners, David Taylor and Michelle Brannon, listen to this. They are a mega church, but what they were busted for is a $50 million scheme. And they were also, they had forced laborers to be personal servants while they were raking in the millions and living in their lavish, they had multiple different places, and so all of them got raided, but they were living a very lavish life while having forced labor. How horrible it was for the people that were in the forced labor side. And now they're done. All right, so they got arrested. If you want to go ahead and look at the clip, you can go ahead and see that right there. Then, the news never reported this. So this is going to be a little bit on the swamp FAFO, the freak around and find out. But the news didn't report this. Jack Smith ended up lawyering up. He has an investigation underway. It was referred by Tom Cotton. It is on violations of the Hatch Act. It prohibits federal employees from engaging in political activities. Tom Cotton referred this investigation, claiming Smith had used his role to influence the 2024 election of Biden and Harris. Remember that investigation? And then it just got squashed because they still had nothing. Zip. All the evil things they did to President Trump by trying to keep him in court. And he had 4 cases. He had this stupid special investigator, prosecutor, whatever it was, some freak. And then he was also had a law firm that was colluding with him, which is Covington and Burling. They were doing pro bono work for Jack Smith. Imagine that. But I'll get to that in a moment so he ends up using them as their cohorts to go ahead and do what they needed to do. And then now he's got a lawyer up. So he's using the same law firm. This is an Eric Holder law firm. Eric Holder was the former AG under Barry Obama. The Covington Burlings, they replied to the investigation saying, you can't do this, basically saying you have nothing. But what they didn't say in this letter, so if you click on this image, it will take you to the full letter. It's a 5-page letter. What they didn't say in the 5 pages of blah, 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 crying, wah, wah, wah. What they didn't say in here is they didn't deny what Jack Smith did. What they were saying is that it's just wrong. You can't do this. It's just unconstitutional. Well, Covington Burling, remember, earlier this year, President Trump, he signed an executive order. He suspended the security clearances for the employees and attorneys at Covington and Burling. Check this out.
At the outset of your administration, sir, you committed to ending the weaponization of government, to holding those accountable who participated in the weaponization of government.
Hold it. This is a good one. Is everybody listening? Deranged Jack Smith. we're going to call it the deranged Jack Smith signing or bill. Go ahead.
One law firm that provided pro bono legal services to the special counsel's office under Jack Smith's leadership was Covington and Burling. As a result of those actions, we're now going to be suspending and putting under review the security clearances for the attorneys and employees at that firm who worked with Jack Smith's team. And we're going to continue holding the people who were responsible for the weaponization of government, who supported it, accountable for what they did.
And you'll be doing this with other firms as time goes by, right?
We're looking at sort of the whole panoply of options.
The weaponization of our system by law firms, even pro bono work they're doing just in order to clog up government, stop government. And nobody knows about it more than me. And hopefully that'll never happen again.
So the Covington and Burlington?
Covington and Burlington.
Okay.
The deranged Jack Smith order signing. This is exactly what President Trump is trying to get at. So there you heard the Trump administration, the Trump team talking about Covington Burling doing pro bono. Get that? Covington Burling, a huge law firm, doing pro bono work for who? A crooked special prosecutor. I'll get to why all of this stuff has to happen, guys. I'll get to all of that. You all know, but I'm just giving you just a reminder. Remember, we've got AI that's going to be working with, they're not giving the full information. If you don't ask exactly the right question, they will give you exactly the whatever answer they have. I had asked if the Covington Burling's security clearance was revoked. And of course, I had to ask different ways in AI. So I'm just kind of warning you that they weren't very helpful. There's no credible or official reports indicating that Covington and Burling, the Washington, D.C. law firm, has had its security clearances suspended. And it says law firms like Covington and Burling do not hold security clearances as entities. Instead, individuals and staff members may obtain personal security clearances. While there has been isolated instances in the past of scrutiny of the individuals with a major law firm, no public records, government announcements, or a reputable news source indicate that the attorneys collectively or the firm's operations have been subject to suspension of security clearance eligibility. We got you, AI, man. You are freaking out. Okay, so now AI isn't, they don't give you a link to share your stuff. Okay, so when you do a finding, you have to kind of copy it, and then screenshots are helpful, but it's also nice to see it backed up, right? So why is this important? Are we going to face information warfare, right? Because in the coming days, now my humble opinion, in the coming days, weeks, months, there's going to be so much swamp dirt that's going to be released that the liberal-leaning AI may, not definitively, but may work against the MAGA conservatives. So just be aware, do double, triple, quadruple checking, whatever you need to do to get your information out there. And I'll tell you, get your memes ready, guys. And then another information warfare is President Trump focus to charge Soros with RICO charges. Now, this is going to be big because RICO is a very huge crime. President Trump, he posted this on the 27th, 4 days ago. George Soros and his wonderful radical left son should be charged with RICO because of their support of violent protests and much more. All through the United States. We're not going to allow these lunatics to rip apart America anymore, never giving it so much as a chance to breathe and be free. Soros and his group of psychopaths have caused great damage to our country. That includes this crazy West Coast, his crazy West Coast friends. Be careful. We're watching you. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Trump is sending a coded message in this. He's sending quite a few coded messages this past weekend, but this was done on Thursday. So let me first of all talk about RICO penalties, because you need to get yourself ready, because you might get liberal coworker, family, whatever backlash. Get your arsenal ready. And on my, whenever I have an article written, you can always click on that and grab the links, or see the full post, or see the full letters, or what have you, so you could share it with your liberal buddies. Let me just summarize what RICO penalty is. It is an act, it's penalties for violating RICO racketeering, influenced, and corrupt organizations. They're severe, both criminal and civil consequences under federal law. A person can be convicted of a RICO violation, faces up to, get this, maximum prison sentence of 20 years for each racketeering count. Each racketeering count. Now, I want you to also kind of expand our thinking. Think about all of those declassified documents. Were those considered RICO as well? Then it says right here, however, if the underlying predicate offenses carries a life sentence, the RICO conviction can result in life imprisonment. Fine for RICO conviction can be up to $250,000 or twice the amount of the proceeds from the criminal activity, whichever is greater. I'm going to tell you guys, the swamp is going to wish they were in jail. They're going to be, well, we already know most of them. The big names already got dealt with. And remember what Q had said about George Soros. Q330, we have a special place picked out for GS, George Soros. Really special, Q. So somehow I hear the jaw sound. Dun-dun. Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. I remember old Jacob Rothschild, he already bit the dust. So there's George Soros, a picture of Q Post 546 of Soros with Rothschild. So now President Trump has already, the big people already got dealt with under dirt, or they're getting exposed, and Soros was one of the last ones. I'm pretty sure President Trump is going to start targeting Bill Gates and Oprah. Oh boy, when he goes to the Oprah group, man, that's going to go crazy, crazy, crazy. But let's connect some dots, all right? President Trump, he went ahead and put out a truth post yesterday about contractors, and it's much more than the contractors at the White House, in my humble opinion. Again, you decide. This right here, this is the first half of the post, but President Trump is talking about, I used at the White House the most beautiful marble and stone available anywhere. Surfaces are very important to me as a builder. Everyone knows I built many great buildings and other things over the years. At the White House, I'm very proud of the beautiful stonework we did in the Rose Garden, in this case using limestone plus. The Rose Garden is completed and far more beautiful than anyone ever had in mind when it was conceived of decades ago. 3 days ago, while admiring the stonework, I happened to notice a huge gash in the limestone that extended more than 25 yards long. It was deep and nasty. I started yelling, "Who did this? I want to find out now." And I didn't say this was nice. I didn't say this in a nice manner, I wondered. Was it vandalism or was it stupidity? Lo and behold, because of the fact that we've installed the finest security equipment anywhere, they brought back the stupid people with the boss watching in sunglasses. It was a subcontractor that was installing heavy landscaping on a steel cart that was broken and tilting badly, with it rubbing hard against the soft, beautiful stone. I love and respect great workers and contractors, but something like this should never happen. Now I'll replace the stone, charge the contractor, and never let that contractor work at the White House again. But how great is this video equipment? We caught them cold. Make America great again. So he showed a video of the contractors pulling this steel crate over the limestone. But it was this message, in my humble opinion, was a little bit bigger than what meets the eye. I highlighted some things yesterday, but then as I was putting this whole podcast together, I thought, oh man, there was a couple of other connections on this. So President Trump, many great things and many great buildings and other things. He built a new financial system. He built a new guard, right? 3 days. So he's talking about 3 days ago, right? What happens on the 2nd, November 2nd? Again, he posted this on the 30th. So what happens on November 2nd? It's eye-opening, very eye-opening Q post on September 2nd. It covers pretty much all the big name swamp and their sick crimes. It's kind of heartbreaking to see. In that same truth post, President Trump mentions 25. Q25 ends with proof to begin 11/3. Again, that was the election of 2020. We all sincerely appreciate, this is the Q post that ends with, we all sincerely appreciate the work you do. Keep up the good fight. The flow of information is vital. God bless. Tells me we're going to have lots of major stuff coming out. It is going to be all hands on deck information warfare. And then he says, install the finest security equipment everywhere, brought back the stupid people with their boss watching in sunglasses. Did the bossy stupid people do something in the Capitol, in the White House, online? All right. Now, again, remember, guys, President Trump, he's this was a very strong message he was sending. And then he says, we caught them cold, self-explanatory. Well, let me go ahead and dive a little bit deeper into this dive. He's talking about George Soros for one. So because we really, a lot of anons, we already know a lot of bad people got dealt with, but some people are new anons. They're just new to the mega movement. They have been a conservative, but they said, hey, man, I want to dive a little deeper. I want to be an anon. So they're diving a little deeper. So President Trump is actually working with them, trying to help them out and connect the dots. So I went ahead and took that Soros post and highlighted some areas. And boy, I'll tell you, there were some big posts just in these two alone. This was the Soros post, and this is the second half of the contractor post. And it says, be careful, we're watching you. What does he say up here? With their boss watching. All right. So he's saying something very big. And then when President Trump had posted, we brought back the stupid people with their boss watching. Now, again, Q234, this is posted at 2:34, although it is PM, it is 2:34. This one caught my attention. Select people removed. So somebody in the White House, a pretty significant name, a big name, maybe somebody on the Trump team, the cabinet, getting or got removed, right? I thought it was also someone or a group of people that are trying to crack the very foundation that President Trump built. The OBB, think about that. That one big, beautiful bill, big thing, all those huge accomplishments, the tariff deals, the Bitcoin and the crypto strategic reserve. He's setting the foundation in place. Is there a crack in there? Did someone do something? They're trying to crack it. That's how I see it, guys. Everything Trump signed order to make the world better and safe, that person or their group, I think they're toast, because President Trump posted through Il Donato, FYI, I'm not dead. Mr. Limestone Scratcher is freaking dead. Now, whoever or whatever group or person doing this within the Trump team or within the Trump administration or somewhere that's in the Trump circle is done. All right. And he's sending a very strong message. Now, I had to do a little bit more digging on this because I was like, oh man, I can't. So he posted this, FYI, I'm not dead. So the rumor was over the weekend that the liberals were saying that. And it was like, I can't believe it. They're starting a narrative just because President Trump is taking a day and a half out of his busy, busy life to go ahead and play a round of golf, not post anything, just give him time. Both President Trump and Il Donato, they were just out there they needed, both accounts weren't busy. So President Trump, he was doing his thing, right? And the liberals are going crazy and they're starting these stupid narratives. And is there somebody in the White House that started that narrative about President Trump and the status of his life? And it was like, that's just horrible. President Trump posted that at 7:55 p.m. So Q755 says nothing but military intelligence team, MI team, MI team. All right, so he's kind of making it very straight that this is like a military code. And then Q1955, because if that were military time, it would be 1955. And was a delta for August 28th. Do not force those not yet ready. Meaning, again, only 10% of us, 10% of us on the planet know what the heck is going on. So the other 90%, we can't force it because the Trump team and military white hats, they already have a plan. The fake news narrative, make-believe, has been ingrained for a long time. Do not isolate yourself within your own family. Meaning, keep your connections a little diverse, right? Dark to light. Truth will shine. Impossible to defend. Impossible to ignore. Stay strong. You are not alone. Patriots all. Q. I'm telling you, guys, we are getting a lot of help from Space Force. Remember how I told you I got debanked last weekend? Well, on Monday, Tuesday, and Tuesday, the bank had called me and said, we didn't know what was going on. I don't know. I just want to thank you, President Trump. Something had happened where they were begging for me to come back, but I had already made my mind. I already moved on. But they were begging and they were like, what can we do to make it right? We didn't debank you. But then I'm like, why did you just ask me what do you need to make it right? So President Trump is making it very clear for little guys, don't worry, he's got you, all right? Just, you got to say something. You can't just you can't be alone and isolated. Put things out there that you need to so that he and the White Hats and the Space Force can start seeing stuff, right? But again, this is also telling me that there's going to be enough stuff out there, it's just going to be just flat out obvious that this is what happened, this is what they're doing, and the the conservative, non-tinfoil hat conservatives are going to sit there and go, oh my gosh. And then maybe some of the left might, not quite the liberal TDS ones, but the left might go, oh dear, we got to get out of this party. So I want to thank you, White Hats, for your help with the debanking. Okay, now I want to go ahead and go back to here. I went ahead and Mr. Limestone Scratcher is freaking dead. I took that and did a Gematria decode on that. I'm not going to read everything word for word. I'm just going to give you some of the highlights at Q1100, Christmas in DC. Now, and then it says here, money talks drain the swamp. How do politicians access campaign contribution for personal use? The con, Q. I'm telling you, we're seeing a lot of steps about the demise of the Democrats. They're done. Okay, then there were other Q posts related to that. When I do Gematria decodes, it comes up with 3 numbers. So I take those numbers and I look at the Q post. This one is 2100. A while back, President Trump, I can't remember if it was Dan Scavino or President Trump, they posted this picture, all right? And this is in President Trump's first term. And what this anon is saying, as you can see how they named the picture, and it was called Do It Q. Okay. 1 in a billion coincidence. Enjoy the show tonight, Q. Now, again, tonight would have been September 6th, but maybe that's coming up. I don't know. 2100. That was Q 2100. And then it has anons out there. And then it says, why before each rally are threats now being called? Why are bots paid shills tasked to downvote or shill Q discussion boards like Reddit? If you get too many downvotes, they just boot your posting. Why is fake news media attacking this movement? All for conspiracy? What are they afraid of? How many coincidences before it's mathematically impossible? The world is watching. The world is changing. Where we go, when we go all. And then the last Gematria decode was 350. Shall we play a game? And it just talks a little bit about Hussein, a lot about Hussein, the 3-letter agencies, McKinsey, Ian Cameron, Clowns in America, Dr. Emmerich Rice, Federal Reserve. Everyone is connected. How about a nice game of chess? No ability to enter trip code, last dump. What I'm digging about this is that even President Trump, through his Il Donato account, is coming in with the comms. And I think it's fantastic. Now, on the bright side, so all of that's going on. That was all about President Trump. Someone had to go. Someone's going to be gone. Maybe there's a group of people. I don't know, guys. You decide. But on the bright side, it was really strange because on the 26th, before President Trump posted the contractor post about letting them go and they have to pay, there's a big, what he was really saying also, there was something really big. Hang on. Was President Trump also letting us know George Soros is under dirt? He and his son are under dirt because when he did this post, his wonderful radical left son should be charged with RICO because of their support of violent protest, never giving it so much as a chance to breathe and be free, meaning that this dude can't breathe, is not free, is isolated in prison and jail in the clink or under dirt, right? That was my big signal, is that he's trying to let y'all know he has been dealt with. We already know about the other big names, but some of us might sit there and go, well, I still don't really understand it. We're not getting any Q drops. Is the new Q drop, like we had talked about well over a month ago, President Trump dropping these bombs, and he is not just dropping it and nothing happens. He's dropping it and then something follows through with it, right? I mean, he dropped about Hillary Clinton and all those people that got Arkansited a couple months ago, and then now all of a sudden Hillary's making headlines with some of the stuff that is coming out about Russiagate. Obama, the same thing with the Iranian money, and now all of the declassified documents are coming out. Do you see the pattern? So on the 26th, this is what was announced. Dan Scavino is now hiring for Trump's White House. And at that time, days before President Trump posted the contractor post, I was wondering, are there going to be more firings going on? Can you imagine the scrutiny Dan's going to put every single candidate through? I mean, he could just sit there in total silence for the first 5 minutes and let those people go biddy for the first 5 minutes, and then he's going to say, you're out of here, you're not hired. But he might sit there and say nothing for the first 5 minutes, and maybe somebody could say, would you like to know what he might say, what is President Trump's favorite Gitmo song? It's the YMCA. Can you do the Trump shimmy shimmy dance? And if they can't, then at the time, Cracker Barrel was woke. I said they can go work at Cracker Barrel, but now they're not woke. They're unwoke. But Trump, my point is that Dan Scavino is going to be doing the hiring. So all of a sudden, this announcement comes out just days before President Trump is hinting about something going on. Somebody's screwing with Trump's foundation. And whoever is starting this narrative, it might be in Trump's circle, I don't know. You know how some people, they make claims, and I mean, I'll even show you a post that Il Donato put out there. But what's going on is that these liberal minions, and I hid the name and a handle because this guy looks like he just wants a bunch of attention, apparently got fired. My boss called me at midnight and tells me I'm fired for posting 10 times in a row that Trump is gone. He says another word, this can't be real. And then he's even asking Grok, is this even legal? And Grok says, and basically says yes. In most states at will employment, yes, employers can fire you for social media posts unless they involves protective activities like discussing wages or work conditions. Repeated information about a public figure likely isn't protected. There, check your state laws. Again, guys, it is happening. This guy's now, going out there and he's posting it over and over again. My point is that, again, Space Force Trump sees everything, yeah? And then this is another thing, too, that President Trump posted through Il Donato. It says, Pappy stops posting for a second and everyone turns into Alex Jones. Remember, you guys, some of these bigger name influencers, they go out there and start a really nasty narrative, and then all of a sudden all of their followers are like, oh, yeah, we should do that. And it's like, come on. So again, President Trump, he posts things for a reason. So Q gave us a delta on the 26th, the day that Dan Scavino was suddenly announced that he was going to go ahead and start hiring people, right? Suicide weekend, hands up. 30 in brackets, 28 second in brackets, impossible coincidence. We are in control. Big week ahead. Well, what's happened just since that post? Soros is called out by Trump for RICO charges. Soros and his son. Kamala Harris loses her Secret Service detail. Judge Dugan, remember the judge that was trying to got an illegal out of the courthouse, the illegal and the illegal's attorney out of the courthouse, snuck him out. Well, her case goes to trial. She got arrested. She can no longer sit on the bench. She's been suspended for that. And her case is going to trial. Mega church gets raided and owners arrested. And then the swamp people lawyered up. Schiff lawyered up. Letitia, Lisa Cook, Jack Smith. How many others are going to start lawyering up, right? I don't know how much more blatant it could be, but President Trump through Il Donato says, now this guy was dead and it was the weekend at Joe's. Okay, so is he implying it's Joe or is he implying it's Barack Obama, right? Speaking of Barack Obama, he kind of went on a little tizzy this weekend with some posts, but also things to keep ourselves focused with, because the liberals are going to throw all kinds of spaghetti on the wall trying to distract. And what happens is that, like, some Taylor Swift news comes out. I don't even know what happened, but it's like that's such a distraction. All of a sudden MAGA goes and not MAGA, but I'm going to say people go out and they run and they look at that news. It's like, come on, we got to stay on point. Bill Clinton was seen having a defibrillator, guys. So this dude is on, may not be on Earth in the public eye for very long. But remember, he has a deposition coming up. All those subpoenas that James Comer had, they have to compel, meaning they need to open up, and they have depositions. And Bill Barr, Alberto Gonzalez, and then Jeff Sessions already had their depositions. So Bob Mueller is on the second, Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder, and then eventually Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. So Loser Barry, okay, so Obama, he's not getting a deposition, but he sounds a little scared. He hasn't denied anything about the D-class documents exposing him, but only posted about his concern about federalization and militarization of state and local police officers. Why? Is he scared? Does he fear an arrest publicly? Is he concerned about fellow minions getting arrested? Or is he concerned about the top dog Soros and his son getting arrested? This is all he posted. He never said, I deny the declassified documents. No, none of that. He's only posting his I mean, come on, this doesn't even sound like a former president. The erosion of principles like due process, that Trump never have, and the expanding use of our military on domestic soil puts the liberties of all Americans at risk and should concern Democrats and Republicans alike. Don't throw us in there, Obama, loser Barry, freakazoid. No, don't throw us in there. Don't speak for me or the conservatives. We're not, we don't agree with anything you do or say, but this is what he's saying. The erosion of due process. So again, President Trump never got due process when it came to his courts and trials, but when it comes to them, they're scared. So he's making it clear, I got to have due process. Well, it ain't going to stand because it's already been declassified, meaning the investigation on him and all that stuff is done. So they're going to do everything to distract what's coming. Recently, just today, President Trump announced he's going to have an EO on no voter ID required and no mail-in ballots, except for those with severe illness or any military abroad. The left have nothing. They have their illegal alien base is being deported. Their voter rolls have been purged, so dead people and non-existent people are gone. And then their thugs that were out voting for them, they're arrested or getting dealt with, so they can't go out and vote. So President Trump, he's made it very clear this is the demise of the Democrat Party, guys. And then all of the security clearances, because fake news won't put this out there. So these are I'm trying to keep lists so we can kind of keep up. But these are the security clearances that got revoked or security detailed removed. Here's the entire list. So Joe Biden and all his family members, Hillary Clinton, Blinken, Sullivan, Monaco, Bragg, James, Weissman, Eisen, Cheney, Kinzinger, the former national security officials who testified or critical during the Trump's first term are affected, Fiona Hill, Vindman, Eisen, 51 former intelligence office officials. They lost their clearance. Clapper, Brennan, Hayden, Panetta, and then recently 37 additional officials to include these names over here. And then on the 28th, which was just 3 days ago, Kamala Harris had her detail revoked. That's it. Now people are saying, well, she only gets it for 6 months after the... Well, the point is this. Why does Anthony Fauci have security detail? Right? Why does he and other people that are not the president have ongoing security detail? And then she was the alleged vice president. It's done, gone, bye-bye. So it tells me these people are going to be going out they're just going to be kind of on their own, dealing with what they need to, because remember, the National Guard has the authority to make warrantless arrests. So that could be fun. So President Trump, I'm sure he was informed about what the liberals were doing, and he came back from a nice short weekend of relaxing because he sure deserves it. And then the left started the rumors about him. They want you, the MAGA, especially the new MAGA, they're like, oh my gosh, did that really happen to President Trump? What are we going to do, right? That's the fear they wanted. And it was like, no, not hardcore MAGA isn't going to fall for that, right? No, But President Trump went out there and he just went on a tear yesterday. He was posting a meme of himself holding a Q+, and then he exposed Letitia James for another alleged crime. And he posted this: I make stupid people completely insane. And these are ex-posts that he posted on Truth. I drive stupid people completely insane. Okay. And then this one was the big one. All right, President Trump, the world will soon understand nothing can stop what is coming, and he's holding the Q+. Okay, come on. And then this right here, Letitia James is harboring another fugitive, and guess who that fugitive is? The Letitia James's niece. So this right here are big, and Letitia James claimed she had all of these primary residences, but she was actually one is a rental units. The other one is, there's a lot of stuff, mortgage fraud. So there's a lot more that President Trump is putting out there right now. And remember, patriots across the pond, President Trump, he's sending you this message, okay? Time to take back the West, and he's got all the flags from Britain, from the UK, and this is so cool. They want President Trump so bad. They need President Trump so bad. Just the liberalism is killing their country. And so they're really hoping. And again, rest assured, President Trump needs to take care of America first before he can take care of the other countries. He's already doing many things, guys, with these agreements that he's already signed. So you know it's on its way. President Trump via El Donato, he posted this AI meme quoting Braveheart saying, "They may take our lives, but they will never take away our freedom." So that is, he's meaning this might be what we can expect. President Trump, he's rebuilding America as it should be. He's working like heck to bring back greatness, especially to the American workers. Those in other countries, just hang tight, okay? President Trump, he's got his deals in place. What is behind these tariff deals? Does it say, and these tariff deals, you are a part of America, or I will be ahead of that, or I don't know, guys. So it's going to be really big. But the appellate court is even trying to interfere with the tariff deal. So this is what you need to understand. President Trump needs some of these judges to fall into traps. He needs some of these courts to fall into traps. Let them do what they need to do. Let him. Unfortunately, it's the country suffers for a period of time, but he needs to have them fall into traps because then it sets a precedent. These appellate judges are fighting income for the revenue for the country, and it's like, no. So President Trump made it very clear all tariffs are still in effect. So don't let that fake news go out there and try to take away your joy. President Trump, he's the peace president. Byron McDonald's, he posted this about all the countries. The peace through strength and actions results are indisputable. Armenia, all these countries that made peace with one another, which is huge. And then New York Post posted this. A post written by Michael Goodwin, Dawn, the picture of a true leader. This is when President Trump had the European leaders and Zelensky at the White House. Oh, are we going to start seeing a shift in fake news? Oh, man, oh, man. Labor Day is coming up tomorrow, is a reminder of those who built America. I love this photo because it's truly the hardworking Americans that built this country, yeah? And President Trump, he's bringing that America back. He's bringing it so that you have jobs, you can have a life, you can have a family that you can have time to enjoy. He is bringing back this country. And again, we're starting to see small effects, little by little, but eventually it'll start rolling into something massive. President Trump, he is the president of the American worker. This Labor Day weekend, we're celebrating Made in America comeback. If you want to take a look at this is so awesome. And I'm going to play this at the very tail end. But we know our country is changing. We are changing. The world is changing. We just have to hang in there. And but one of the big important things is to keep living. Just enjoy your life and living. Even if you've got struggles, find a way to maybe play a card game because maybe your hip isn't working. You can't take a walk. So try to do other things just to start really living. And if you have to relive your childhood, like in my last podcast about what you did when you were a kid and all, then talk about that with someone that's familiar with it. And then you could share the laughter and joy, but just start living. I want to thank Don't Tread on Us for this meme about we need to really get ready to ride some really fun waves that's going to be coming in. And when you ride a wave, I don't know if any of you actually surf, but when you ride a really good wave and you are just literally grinning from ear to ear, and that's what President Trump, his aim is. He wants us to be grinning from ear to ear. You know who else wants that for us? Of course, our Lord mighty God in heaven. So I want to thank, because this meme is so cute. It's a little Sammy on a surfboard. So come on, guys, let's just get your boards ready. Wax those boards because you're going to be riding some waves that are going to be crazy great. And then some you're going to wipe out. That's okay. You just get back up on the board and we ride together. God bless you so abundantly. Have a beautiful rest of the weekend and a beautiful Labor Day. And I will have a show soon. Aloha.
People want to be our partner. They want to be investing in the United States.
New companies from around the world are pledging to invest billions of dollars in the United States of America and our workforce.
He's keeping his promises to the American worker. He is the president of the American worker.
It's time to reclaim our heritage as a nation of builders.
When Americans see a beautiful bridge or a beautiful building, we all ought to look at it and say that was made with American hands and built with great American steel.
We have more more investment in the United States right now than we've ever had before.
And every time you go to the store to purchase a product, you're no longer seeing made in China on the back. You are seeing made in America on the back.
President Trump's economy has already created 2 million jobs this year.
We are making it possible to build things in America again.
You've got over $10 trillion of factories that are going to be built in America.
He is leveling the playing field for the American worker and the American business owner.
We're seeing a manufacturing boom in this country because you have a president who's telling people that if you want to sell to great American consumers, you've got to make it in America and use great American workers to do it.
We are seeing the exact kind of reshoring that President Trump wanted to see.
We are going to reward all of you for the great work that you're doing, and we're going to reward American companies for investing in American workers, not foreign workers, for a change.
To hear an announcement like this that's going to force the auto companies to build their assembly plants in the United States instead of right across the border in Mexico is music to our ears.
We're going to keep making investments right here in America. We're going to keep hiring in America. And we're going to keep building technologies at the heart of our products right here in America. Because we're a proud American company and we believe deeply in the promise of this great nation.